Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to explore the wonderful and inspiring life of a true musical legend, Ustad Bismillah Khan. Now, this is a story that you might remember from your textbook, from Part 2 of The Sound of Music. We're going to follow his amazing journey all the way from a small town in Bihar to the biggest stages in the world, and we'll discover the music and the values that made him such a great maestro.
So here is the path we'll take to understand his story. First, we will learn about the instrument he played, the Shehnai, and where it came from. Then we'll travel back to his childhood and his training. We will witness his historic performance on India's Independence Day, see how he became a global ambassador for our country, understand his deep love for his home, and finally, we'll reflect on the powerful lesson his life teaches all of us.
To really understand the great Ustad, we first have to understand his instrument. So let's begin with the fascinating story of how the Shehnai was born. At the very heart of our story are these two instruments. On the one side, you can see the pungi. It's a reeded instrument, but it had a rather sharp sound. And on the other side, we have the Shehnai. It looks quite different, doesn't it? But it was actually born from the pungi as an improvement. So why was a new instrument even needed? Well, the pungi had a very shrill and, to be honest, unpleasant sound. In fact, the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb disliked it so much that he completely banned it from his court. And this created an opportunity for a much sweeter, more melodious instrument to come and take its place. The story of its creation is actually quite simple and interesting. It all started with a barber who came from a family of professional musicians. He decided to improve the pungi. He took a hollow stem that was longer and broader, made 7 holes in it, and when he played this new instrument, the sound that came out was beautifully soft and melodious. It was performed in the Shah's, that is, the king's, chambers. And since it was played by a Nai, which means barber, in the Shah's chamber, it got the name Shehnai. That's a very easy way to remember its origin.
Very quickly, the sound of the Shehnai came to be considered auspicious. Now, what does this word mean? It means something that promises to bring good fortune or good luck. And this is precisely why, even today, the Shehnai is such an important part of ceremonies in our temples and at almost every North Indian wedding. It holds a very special and sacred place in our culture.
Alright, so now that we understand the instrument, let's see how it found its greatest master. Let's turn to the early life and the dedicated practice of Ustad Bismillah Khan. Bismillah Khan was truly born into a world of music. His entire family, his father, his grandfather, they were all professional musicians. Right from the age of 3, he was completely fascinated by the Shehnai, watching his uncle practice for hours in Benares. His early journey was also marked by simple joys, like singing at a local temple where his prize was a huge laddu weighing 1.25 kilograms. It's a lovely reminder that greatness often comes from very humble and happy beginnings.
Now, his place of practice was just as important as the practice itself. You see, he was not just sitting in a room. He would spend hours at different temples, but his most favorite place, his haunt, was the banks of the holy river Ganga. He felt that the solitude and the flowing water inspired him to invent new ragas, pushing the Shehnai to do things no one had ever done before. This deep connection between his disciplined practice and his spiritual surroundings, this was the real secret to his genius.
A really big moment for him came when he was just 14 years old. After he performed at the Allahabad Music Conference, the great Ustad Fayaz Khan patted him on the back and gave him this simple but very powerful advice: work hard and you shall make it. Now, for a young musician, hearing this encouragement from a master was a clear sign that with patience and a lot of hard work, he was on the right path to greatness. And that dedicated young musician would very soon become the voice of a new, free nation on the most important day in its history. The date was August 15th, 1947, a day that is etched in the heart of every Indian, the day our nation gained its independence. And the stage for this historic moment was none other than the Red Fort in Delhi, from where the destiny of a new India was about to be announced to the world.
On that historic morning, Bismillah Khan was given a very unique honor. Before our first Prime Minister, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, gave his famous Tryst with Destiny speech, it was the auspicious sound of Bismillah Khan's Shehnai that greeted the nation. He played Rag Kafi, pouring his heart out to welcome a free India. This was a moment of immense pride for him and for our entire country. After this unforgettable performance, Ustad Bismillah Khan took the sound of the Shehnai, and with it, the sound of India to the rest of the world.
He became a true cultural ambassador for our nation. His music was celebrated all across the globe, from Afghanistan to the USA, where he became the first Indian invited to perform at the prestigious Lincoln Center Hall, to Montreal, to the Cannes Art Festival, to Japan. His talent captivated audiences everywhere. There was even an auditorium in Tehran that was named after him. The Shehnai was now being celebrated on the world's most famous stages.
Back home, his contributions were of course recognized with our nation's highest honors. He received the Padma Awards, and then in 2001, he was awarded the Bharat Ratna, India's highest civilian award. And yet, as we are about to see, despite all this fame, his humility and his simplicity always remained his most defining qualities.
But what truly mattered most to him? Despite traveling the world and receiving countless awards, Ustad Bismillah Khan's heart was always firmly planted right here, in India.
I mean, he had achieved more than most musicians could ever dream of. In fact, one of his students once asked him to come and head a Shehnai school in the USA, and even promised to recreate the entire atmosphere of Benares by building temples there just for him.
And his answer was just so simple and so profound. He asked the student if he would also be able to transport the river Ganga there. You see, for him, Benares was not just its temples, it was the holy Ganga. And this was an unbreakable bond that no amount of fame or money could ever replace.
This deep love for his roots was a constant in his life. He once said that whenever he was in Mumbai, he would only think of Benares and the Ganga. But when he was in Benares, he would miss the unique buttermilk or matha of his birthplace, Dumraon. It's a beautiful lesson on the importance of never ever forgetting where we come from.
So as we reach the end of our journey, what is the most important lesson that we can take from the life of this great maestro? Perhaps his greatest legacy is this. Ustad Bismillah Khan was a devout Muslim, yet he would often play the Shehnai at the famous Kashi Vishwanath temple. His life is a perfect example of the rich, composite culture of India. It's a powerful reminder that true art and true music go beyond all religious boundaries. He showed us that one can be deeply religious while also embracing the beauty of all cultures.
In the end, his life leaves us with a powerful question. His story suggests that true greatness isn't just about talent. It's a combination of unwavering dedication, a deep love for one's culture and traditions, and above all, a profound humility that fame can never touch. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. What do you think is the most important quality for a truly great life?